Welcome back, True Seeker. Friday, October 26, 2018. The main topic of this video is the mockery by the federal government of we the people with the said bomber, the mail bomber, CESAR Sayoc, and how this story is directly connected to the Austin bombing, where the bomber was said to be Mark Anthony Conditt. Of course, it was Mark Antony who replaced Caesar and Rome. And as they say, all roads lead to Rome. They also say those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. So we're going to be getting into those topics, but very quickly, just want to warm up with a few other headlines in the news today, October 26th. Emphasis on 26. If you've read my book, Letters and Numbers, the first chapter is why are there 26 letters in the English alphabet? And what is the significance of this number? If you read that chapter, you learned a lot. One of the main lessons is the 26 letters are in tribute to God from the belief in Kabbalah. Kabbalah says that the world was created when God merged the letter with the number. And in Hebrew, where Kabbalah was originally studied, the four-letter name of God, the tetragrammaton, sums to 26. Just like in English, the word God, G plus O plus D, is 7 plus 15 plus 4 using the alphabetic order 26. So anyway, we get this story about Sinead O'Connor changing her name again. So the third time she's changed her name. And it comes today, October 26th, and her new name is Shuhada. And guess what Shuhada sums to in Gematria? 26. Just like letter. Just like God. Her prior name, oh, by the way, we'll talk about her prior name here in just a second. But oh, by the way, October 26th is the day leaving 66 days left in the year. Sinead O'Connor equals 66. You know what else is interesting about that? Just quick tangent here about October 26th being the 66, or the day leaving 66 days left in the year. Mankind is made in the 26th verse of the Bible. On the 6th day, 6th, the first perfect number. The name Adam in Gematria sums to 26. The name of the first man. The word mankind equals 66. And in Genesis, God regrets making mankind in Genesis 6:6. But Sinead O'Connor, before she began changing her name, prior to her latest name change, she was going by Megda. Megda, a name that has Gematria just like God. Also 26. So I want to thank Kevin S. for bringing this to my attention. He did some additional decoding there. Again, you read my book, you read the first chapter about why there's 26 letters in the English alphabet, you'll learn a whole lot. It'll blow your mind. Guaranteed. Without a doubt. Another 26 story in the news today. Megyn Kelly's MB show has been canceled. This comes on the 26th. And what's it canceled for? For her remarks about blackface. 26. And just a couple days ago, I covered how when this whole thing broke out about the blackface, it was 26 days from her birthday, November 18th, which is the 322nd day of the year. She's 47 years old right now. Today, the show canceled on a date with a life lesson number of 47. News equals 47. So does racist. Nice little riddle there. Another October 26th story. This one's related to the bomb. Cory Booker, the puppet politician, just like the rest of them. From his 49th birthday to today was 26 weeks on the nose. And today, on the 26th, he was added to the package list. He got a package too. Package 26. And of course, they caught the package bomber on the 26th. How else would it be in the numerological news? I covered this one earlier in the news broadcast I did this morning, but I just want to do it one more time because it's important. There was a nuclear scare at Hanford in Washington State. I actually live right next to this thing. But today has the 74-date numerology in Gematria, nuclear, weapon, energy, Jewish, Masonic, Gematria, English. They all sum to 74. Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words, a practice that's Masonic and Jewish. And of course, Masonry is based in Judaism, so they're pretty much one and the same. Keep in mind, Washington's the 42nd state. When you write out 42, it sums to 74. Freemasons, 42. And again, October 26th, leaving 66 days left in the year, Hanford, 66. News by the numbers. Nuclear scares by the numbers. I said to watch out for the Dow Jones today. I said it would have a bad day in connection to Donald Trump, who's been this symbol since the day he was installed as president-elect, which was the anniversary of the fall of the wall, as in the Berlin Wall. Berlin Wall and Wall Street have gematria of 45, like how he's number 45. I said today the market would do bad in tribute to the chump, and boy, did it ever. Dropped over 500 points, but by the end of the day, it had fallen 296.24, which was a 1.19% drop, which is just comical because Donald equals 119. So does all seeing eye, like what's on the money. Donald Trump's 72 years old right now. Money equals 72. Today's the 26th. Dollar equals 26. Bank 26. Gone 26. The reason I knew it would do bad today in connection to Trump is because it's his 135th day of his age. Once upon a time, Black Monday happened on a date with 135 numerology. Wall Street equals 135 with the alphabetic order forwards and backwards, two of our most essential base ciphers. Notice Wall Street's also 36 and 63. Black Tuesday, October 29th, 1929. That was on the day leaving 63 days left in the year. And don't forget that Donald Trump did this commercial in 2009 talking to sheep number 9, saying, looking good number 9, where when you add 1 through 9 together, it equals 45. But they were sheep number 11 and 9 on pillars. Donald wearing the same suit and tie, talking about being born for the job. This is for CERTA mattresses. I just want you to see that CERTA and Wall Street both sum to 63. 2016, the year he became president-elect on 11/9, November 9th, the anniversary of the fall of the wall. 2016 is the 63rd triangular number, meaning if you add 1 through 63 together, it equals 2016. We're living out a long planned agenda. And you got to look at that Economist magazine cover from 1988. We covered how that foreshadowed a bad day for the market on October 10th, and sure enough, it hit. Third worst day in market history. So those news points out of the way. Want to send a thank you to Dan Barrett. Dan Barrett's the man who stepped up to the plate many years ago. He was the first person to find my work and begin replicating it on YouTube. And he's a brilliant mind, and he's really good at connecting pieces. Right away today, he let me know about the Mark Anthony Conditt connection and the CESAR Sayoc connection. Caesar was assassinated in what's known as the Ides of March, which is celebrated every year on the 74th day of the year. Today has 74th date numerology. The Ides of March, March 15th, the 74th day of the year. After Caesar was assassinated, Mark Antony took over in Rome. And now we have these two bombers connected, Mark Antony and Caesar Sayoc. And remember, the Austin bombings were going on during the time of the Ides of March. I'm going to show you just how connected this is. Dan always feeds me a juicy nugget, and I always take it the distance. So check this out. Ides of March with the alphabetic order sums to 101. Again, if you've read my book, Letters and Numbers, about why there's 26 letters in the English alphabet, in that chapter, I show the significance between 26 and 101 and how many things they connect through. 101 is the 26th prime number. These numbers are peas in a pod, 101 and 26. 101, the 26th prime. Caesar Sayoc, captured on the 26th. You get it? Ides of March, 101, the 26th prime. Got to make sure you understand that. Notice Ides of March is also 56 because they're saying Caesar Sayoc is 56 years old. Some media refers to him as Caesar A. Sayoc, which also sums to 56 in gematria. Here he is, the 56-year-old. You know, when this story first broke, I just said, wait until the details come out. He'll be a Trump supporter. He'll be a mega hat wearer. All of these things. So easy to see. Look at where he was arrested today. Plantation, Florida, 101. 101, the 26th prime, just like Ides of March. Caesar Sayoc arrested in Plantation, Florida. And remember who does this code. It's a Jewish code. Who controls Florida? So I had to look up Caesar Sayoc's birthday. It's out there. I promise you this is true. His birthday is March 17th, 1962. And multiple things are comical about this date, including it's a date with 101 numerology. This man born March 17th, 1962. 3 plus 17 plus 19 plus 62, 101. Now, here's the thing about Caesar. He was assassinated in 44 BC. Remember, kill equals 44, execution 44. Donald Trump's number 45, but he's only the 44th person to be president. That's because Grover Cleveland was number 22 and number 24. He had a split term. So the 25th president was the 24th person. The 26th president was the 25th person, all the way up to president. You know, Donald Trump's number 45, but only the 44th person to be president. Caesar assassinated in 44, replaced by Mark Antony. Now, the Daily Mail, they called this guy the Mega Bomber. The Mega Bomber, right? What's that equal? 193? That's the 44th prime number. Talk about this relationship all the time, 193 and 44. Talked about it countless times just in the last week. Want to send a thank you right now out there to Candace. Thank you so much, Candace, for picking up the book. It means a lot. I get these updates on my phone. Here, I'll turn on the sound in case anybody else wants to buy a book. We'll hear the next purchase if it happens. It's been a very slow day of sales. Could use a few more book sales. Just got the big bill from the dentist. But anyway. I also said earlier today, I said, watch them say that 14 bombs have been sent. And sure enough, here we are. 14 bombs sent according to the Daily Mail. I'm seeing other sources report 13, but the reason we said 14 would be funny is because bomb equals 14, like Obama, the biggest name to get one. Obama, bomb, same gematria. So, building on the comedy, from the Ides of March, March 15th, the 74th day of the year, to today, the date was 74 numerology, is 225 days later, right? 225 days later from the Ides of March. And look at the name Mark Anthony Conditt. This is the name of the supposed bomber who was bombing during the times of the Ides of March in Austin. And by the way, I predicted the Austin bombings would end at 5. There were 5 bombings in Austin. 5 equals 42, like Austin, like Alex Jones, like InfoWars, like how Ted Kaczynski was born in 42. I knew it was a Ted Kaczynski riddle then. So was this one, as we've covered. But Mark Anthony Conditt, 225. Perfect, right? These are the 2 bombers, 2 stories connected. And think about the number 225. As a date, you can make it 22/5. That's May 22nd, which is whose birthday? Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, who's currently 76 years old. What day was the birthday of this guy that they're calling the Mega Bomber? March 17th. That's the 76th day of the year. 31 days in January, 28 in February, plus 17 more. 31 plus 28 plus 17 is 76. So this guy born on the 76th day of the year, the Unabomber's 76 years old. The word bomb equals 76. The word package bomb equals 76. The name Donald John Trump equals 76. We'll get to it. Getting ahead of myself. But again, Ides of March, the 74th day of the year, the Austin bombings were going on. During the time of the Ides of March, they identified the bomber March 21st, which we'll get to, 6 days after the Ides of March. Again, today has 74 date numerology. This is Roman history. The Ides of March, Roman 74, Jewish 74, Masonic 74. I want to show you 2 more words that with the alphabetic order sum to 74 in light of Caesar dying from being stabbed to death. And, you know, if you know history, it's the same people who are in control of Rome that are in control of the United States, the you-know-whos. Oops, I wrote gematria. That's not what I want. Killing, 74 with the alphabetic order. Notice stabbing, 74. And we remember the stabbing of Caesar on the 74th day of the year. Now, again, gematria is a Jewish practice. Who do you think built these tributes into our calendar? And don't forget, the English alphabet was standardized as a 26-letter alphabet. At the same time, they were converting us to the Gregorian calendar, which we're now on. If you want to read my book, you'll learn a whole lot about the Gregorian calendar and history. So, big 74 tributes here. Should have put killing and stabbing up here because they fit right in with that pattern. Now, it was March 21st that the Austin bomber was identified as Mark Anthony Conditt. This was the day this news broke, March 21st, 21/3. Talked about this then. They were known as the Austin bombings, 213. So what a day to identify the bomber. This man who's responsible for the bombings today, this is a purposeful mistype by me. They're spelling his name Caesar with no A here. So this gematria is actually not true for how they're spelling his name in the media. But if you do spell Caesar right, isn't it interesting that Caesar Sayoc Jr., which is how his name's being referred to, also sums to 213? I just had to point it out. 213 is another number of killing and death. If you've read my book, the chapter on murder by numbers, it comes up a lot. These are stories of killing and death. So from the Austin bomber being identified and killed to the story of Caesar Sayoc being arrested is a span of 220 days, also 7 months and 6 days, like 76. Excuse me. I just was working in the yard a little bit here. Got some allergies going. But 220 days and 7 months and 6 days, both funny numbers for these reasons. Donald John Trump equals 220. Donald John Trump equals 76, like bomb, like package bomb. Remember how Robert De Niro compared Trump to the taxi driver? That was a movie that came out in 76. Again, Caesar Sayoc born on the 76th day of the year. Ted Kaczynski, 76. You can verify all the information I share. I only report the facts with accuracy. You know, about as much as I would ever twist anything is what I just showed you here with Caesar Sayoc Jr., but I'm letting you know that's not the actual spelling. But still, isn't it interesting in light of the rest? Hard to ignore. So here's the other thing. Today, the date of the capture of Caesar, today has a life lesson number of 47. Again, Freemasonry abides by this code of letters and numbers called gematria, which means geometry in language. The Freemason logo is a compass and a square, instruments of geometry. The compass set at 47 degrees is a tribute to the 47th problem of Euclid about how to establish foundation. Notice Caesar's 47. Notice Trump's 47. Notice government 47. So is authority. So is DC. So is president. All 47. So is White House. So is Republican. So is Whig. So is Democrat. Don't ever forget, Lincoln converted the Whig Party to the Republican Party, and he gave that speech 47 years ago. 47. Key numbers. So here's Mark Antony. There's a lot of things that I could tell you that are interesting about that, but we'll just leave it there. Mark Antony replaced Caesar after he was killed in 44 BC. Notice the name, Mark Antony, 138, just like Donald Trump, just like federal. How perfect. All roads lead to Rome. Look at the architecture in DC. Very Greek, very Roman. Empires. By the way, the word empire equals 66. Here we are on the day leaving 66 days left in the year with a huge tribute to the empire that we study more than any other in American history. They also made a big deal about this guy's white van and how it was decked out with bumper stickers, and he's a huge Trump supporter. You know, the reason they do this type of stuff is because then what happens is all of us throughout this massive nation, we're on the roads, you know, we're a driving people, we're a transportation people. There's people all over this country that, you know, they're not dangerous people, but they support Trump. They got their vehicles decked out with Trump bumper stickers. Now, in the person who consumes media and lets it and allows the media to overtake their mind and make them so fearful and paranoid, they start seeing vehicles like this and they start thinking, oh my God, this guy could be Caesar Sayoc. This guy could be the next Caesar Sayoc. You know, this is how it works. This is how it works. This media makes people so paranoid, you know. But notice, white van 42, Mark Antony 42, Freemason 42, DC 42, Washington, D.C. named after the Freemason George Washington. Washington State is the 42nd state, not by accident. Should also point out that white van has gematria of 102 in the base ciphers like FBI. Remember, they love to code around their propaganda. It's the FBI and CIA that carry out all of this terrorism. Don't ever forget what the definition of terrorism is. Government by intimidation. Also in the base cipher, Mark Antony's 132. Remember, this whole story broke October 24th, which was Trump's 133rd day of his age. We covered that thoroughly. President, 133. White House, 33, 133. Government, 133. It was Trump's 133rd day of his age. Another way to say it is it was 132 days after his birthday. If you don't count the full span, it was 132 days after his birthday, like how there's 132 rooms in the White House. If you don't know that, look it up. 132 rooms in the White House. United States of America, 132. They just made a big deal about how there was no postmarks on any of this package, showing that none of it could have really been delivered through the post office. More mocking. Postmarks, 132. They're mocking us. They're confusing us. They're expecting us to not think. Now, notice this. Package Bomb 221, the Bavarian Illuminati 221. And a lot of people say, what? The Bavarian Illuminati? Never heard of it. Well, I'm going to teach you something about the Bavarian Illuminati, which was established May 1st, 1776. In light of 76 being a big number on this one. The Bavarian Illuminati established May 1st, 1776. The United States of America was named the United States of America September 9th, 1776. Changed its name from the United Colonies. Now, check this out. It's undeniable what happened here in history and that the Bavarian Illuminati has always been in control of this nation. This is undeniable evidence. September 9th, the day that we changed our name to the United States of America, the United States of America equals 99. Remember, it's the nation that has 13 stripes on the flag, 13 colonies. When you write out 13, it sums to 99. Now, notice September 9th leaves 113 days left in the year. In Gematria, United States also sums to 113. So what a perfect day to change our name to the United States of America. 9-9, the day leaving 113 days left in the year. And the Bavarian Illuminati was established May 1st, 1776, a date with 99 numerology, 5 plus 1 plus 17 plus 76. It was established with 13 families, 99. From the establishment of the Bavarian Illuminati to the naming of the United States of America was a span of 132 days. United States of America. 132. Who runs it? Now you know. With regards to the whole 13 thing, I want to come back to this Cory Booker story. His birthday is April 27th. That's the 117th day of the year. I want to show you something about 117. You write out Central Intelligence Agency. It sums to 117, right? If you write out 13, it has gematria of 99 as well as 117. And if you write out CIA, it has this gematria of 13 and 2 of the 4 base ciphers. We've been talking a lot about the 68 part in recent days. I want you to see something about the United States of America in light of 117. We just talked about the 99 piece. There's 2 S's in the name the United States of America. And if you take into account the rules for S is the 19th letter, 1 plus 9 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. S is the only letter that has to be reduced 2 times to get to a single digit in the entire alphabet. S can be 1 or 10. When it's 10, the United States of America is also 117. So there's double connection to 13, 99, 117, 13, 99, 117. It's also very cleverly thought out. So Cory Booker, you know, this is a giant CIA ritual, this whole thing, as we've been talking about. By the numbers that this entire country was founded by and has been run by ever since, which is the proof that, you know, it's not like the United States of America was overthrown and the good men were taken over and over time bad influence. I mean, all the people who say that stuff and believe that stuff, these patriots, it's like, I mean, what kind of deluded worldview do you have? This is a nation that began out of a genocide of 10 million people, at least. This is a nation that began out of mass murder, the spreading of smallpox, which was a form of biological warfare. This is a nation that has been ruled over by industrialists and bankers from the beginning, a nation that's been at war nonstop. This nation is a monster. This nation is the beast. This nation serves Satan, if it serves anything in the world. And, you know, Satan is just a metaphor for evil. This nation is evil. Doesn't mean everyone who's born into it's evil, but this nation is overwhelmingly evil. It's always been evil. It will continue to be evil until it's taken away from the tyrants that built it. Get tired of listening to these patriots. People like the guy who does the radio show before me on TFR. This nation was founded by free men who had it hijacked. BS. This nation was founded by the Catholic Church and a bunch of Jewish bankers. That's who it was founded by. Evil entities. So a few more points about Caesar. His full name is Caesar Altir Sayoc. And his name has gematria of 66. Today leaves 66 days left in the year. Again, empire with the alphabetic order. 66. Freedom. My favorite word, freedom. 66. We're not free here. We live in a giant slave ship. We're all a bunch of banker debt slaves working for shekels that get sent over to Israel. It's where we live. We're ruled over by the Talmud thumpers who do this to us every day. Fear, intimidation, tyranny. So anyway, his name, Caesar Altir Sayoc, it also has perfect overlap with the number of the beast. And New World Order is 174. False Flag is 174. If you missed my work on George Herbert Walker Bush, who lost his wife Barbara Bush on April 17th, 17/4, like 174. You know, George H.W. Bush, Mr. New World Order, guy who couldn't say that word enough. And then just 174 days from Barbara Bush's death, Barbara Jr. just got married. 174 days. Span of 174 days from the death of Barbara. They really like this number. They're some sick people. They even murder their own by the numbers. No wonder they don't care about us. They don't care about themselves. They don't even care about their own wife. You know, if you missed my work on the marriage of Barbara Bush Jr., October 7th, you got to check it out. Daddy Bush, Papa Bush, his death is near. So anyway, New World Order 174, False Flag also 174. Some other things coded in this man, Caesar Sayoc Jr., also gematria of 187. Caesar A. Sayoc, also 187. Where he was arrested today, has the 187 coding too. Plantation, Florida, also 187. Remember, that's a real special number in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., 187. George Washington, 187. Ancient Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, 187. Donald Trump had his GOP convention begin July 18th, 18/7, a span of 187 days from Inauguration Day. Coming back to this point about the number of the beast, October is the only month that sums to 666, the month known for the October surprises. We covered the Plantation, Florida 101, the 26th prime. They get the package bomber on the 26th. CNN all day rolls with this headline. Just remember, anytime the mainstream media tells you something, the exact opposite's true every single time. Whatever the mainstream media writes, the exact opposite's true. These are not hoax devices. So what does that mean? These are hoax devices. What's that headline equal? These are not hoax devices 101. Big number on the day. You know, the 26th prime, news on the 26th. There's probably some sick joke here about Chris Farley's death in this story. They murdered Chris Farley by the numbers. I always think about his van down by the river skit. But here's all the gematria for Caesar Sayoc Jr., the man living in the white van. Gematria of 137, that's the 33rd prime. All the things that equal 137. Washington, D.C., government, president, White House. 137, the 33rd prime. Federal, masonry, secrecy, order. October, all 33. Caesar Sayoc Jr., also 47, the big government number. Today has the 47 date numerology. We're going to talk about how Jeff Sessions said he could get up to 58 years in prison. Also his name, 79 gematria. That's the 22nd prime. Bomb equals 22. Remember, this whole thing started with George Soros receiving a bomb in the mail on the 22nd. We talked about it that night. Then the market bombed the next day. Not coincidental. Not at all. So according to the Daily Mail, the bomb counts up to 14, like the gematria bomb. the mega bomber. A lot of things stand out about that gematria, including the 58, especially since Sessions is saying the mega bomber could get 58 years in prison. Notice they said CESAR Sayoc was active harassing people on Twitter, just like Chump. Today's date has 47 and 74 numerology. Twitter has gematria of 74 and 47. Little too perfect. Little too perfect. Where did I tuck away that headline about Jeff Sessions and 58? I know it's here. Where did I put it? Hold on, I'll just look it up here. Jeff Sessions, 58 years. CESAR Sayoc. Attorney General Jeff Sessions says CESAR Sayoc has been charged with 5 federal crimes, faces 58 years. Remember what 58 is. Donald Trump's the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election. He announced he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower. He hired the 58-year-old Steve Ray for Inauguration Day. Today's arrest in Plantation has the gematria of 58. They're calling him the mega bomber, 58. Freemasonry, 58. Secret Society, 58. Washington, 58. United States, 58. We the people, 58. In God we trust, 58. Annuit coeptis, which means God favors our undertaking, which is written on the dollar bill, 58. It's a whole lot of 58 going on, and there's even more. About that whole Freemasonry secret society thing, if you don't know, Freemasonry is based in the Rosicrucian Order, 58. King James, the Rosicrucian and Freemason, dropped dead at age 58. He had a Bible named after him, Biblical 58. This whole code's biblical. Tetragrammaton. The whole code's supposed to be in tribute to God, the Tetragrammaton 58. But coming back to the Rosicrucians, it means Rose Cross, which equals 58. Oh. And there's a whole lot more to it. See my work on August 11th, 2019. It's going to come 58 days after Trump's birthday. It's the day to remember the destruction of the 2 temples, which are Solomon's Temple, 58, Herod's Temple, 58, Third Temple. That's the next one to be built, 58. Right now there's a coin out there with Donald Trump's face and the Third Temple on it to build the Third Temple. And August 11th, 2019, to remember the destruction of the 2 temples, Tisha B'Av. That'll be a date with 58 numerology, 58 days after Trump's birthday. The Romans destroyed the Second Temple. CESAR Sayoc, numerical rituals, 58. I'm telling you, all this stuff's connected. Everything's just part of an ongoing script, a web of narratives for their next planned deceitful act. Just wait until they blow up the Dome of the Rock. You ain't seen nothing yet. 9/11 won't be nothing once that starts. You know, the Freemason, Albert Pike, what did he say? The Third World War will be contrived between Islam and the rest of the world. How do you think they're going to do that? Not hard to see. Now, for a little more review, this guy, his home was in Aventura, Florida, which sums to 68. Aventura is also 102, like white van, like FBI. But this 68 is what we've been talking about for days. The 68 themes. They said that the bombs came out of a post office in South Florida, 68. They said Rush Limbaugh was a joke because he considered this was a false flag. Rush Limbaugh is a joke, but he was right. This is a false flag. Rush Limbaugh, 68, why he was in the cycle. Robert De Niro got a package exactly 68 days after his birthday. His birthday is August 17th. He got his package October 24th, 68 days later. October 24th leaves 68 days left in the year. And why did he get one? Because he said Donald Trump was like the character from Taxi Driver. Taxi Driver equals 68. Again, that film came out in 76. We were talking about how bomb equals 76, package bomb 76, Donald John Trump 76, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, the package bomber, 76 years old. The riddles are just too tight. And again, 68, that number is the number of the CIA. They do their dirty work by this number again and again. CIA 68, Ted Kaczynski 68, who is the Unabomber, Barack Obama 68, got the bomb, Donald John Trump 68. The head of the CIA, or former head, got it on his 33rd day of his age. We've covered it thoroughly many times over the last few days, but we got to be redundant so the points stick. And again, Donald Trump, who this is all connected to, he's also connected to the market bombing. And on the same day of all of these bombing scares, the Dow plunged over 600 points. In fact, it plunged 608 points on the day leaving 68 days left in the year where the package bombs were going out. Market equals 68, Donald John Trump 68, CIA 68. The CIA controls the market. It's not a secret. It's well known. Nearly every Fortune 500 company has worked for the CIA or is a CIA asset. All of these things that exist in our world, government, media, markets, money, they're all controlled by the Masonic network, which at the end of the day is a Zionist network. So that gets us through the things we needed to cover. Real quick, going to take a peek. Oh, you know what I forgot to tell you? Hold on. There was one more point I wanted to make about Jeff Sessions there with his 58-year sentence. Look at the gematria, Jeff Sessions, 47 in our most pure cipher. Like how today has the 47 numerology, the big government number. It's not hard to see, is it? It is not. So, real quick, I will head out to the chat, see if anybody has any brilliant observations. If not, I got to sign off here. We got to have some food because I got to be back on for my Patreon customers. It's Friday Night Live decodes. All the sportaholics, they got to do their live decodes. So, got to switch over here to Patreon in a moment. Hey, all of you people out there watching that haven't hit the like button, could you do me a favor and hit the like button? I'd really appreciate it. It's the least you could do. Was hoping somebody else would pick up the book, but thank you again, Candace. Candace, the latest purchaser of the book. Hey, Zach, check out Exodus 26:14. It refers to ram's skins dyed red, and it's part of the tabernacle construction. That's Jeremy White. Oh, his comment's going away too fast. Jeremy White, you guys. Jeremy White, you want to click on this guy's channel that I'm highlighting right here. He does great work. He's got his own YouTube channel and blog. Brilliant guy. Support his work. Yeah, good reminder about the Illuminati card game with the taxi driver license plate. That card resembles has this resemblance to Donald Trump, and the license plate's 523. Show you something about that number 523. We have to go to our satanic gematria cipher, and I'll just tell you guys why this is called satanic gematria. When you put in A, it's worth 36. When you put in B, it's 37. It just starts counting it. A is 36 and counts up. Now, 666 is the 36th triangular number, meaning if you add 1 through 36, it equals 666. Look at what satanic gematria equals, 666. If you type in Elizabeth Trump, who's the grandmother of Donald Trump, who died on June 6th in the year 66, her name is 666. And look at the name Donald Trump, 523. 523, which happens to be the 99th prime number, bringing us back to the United States of America and the Bavarian Illuminati established on the date with 99 numerology. You know, we just talked about that earlier in the video. Very special number to the United States of America. But I don't think it's any coincidence that Illuminati card. Here, I could probably look it up here real quick. Illuminati card game, hit and run card. Let's see. I talked about this years ago. It's on my blog somewhere. But here it is. The license plate is 666, and it's actually 235, which is a reshuffling of 523. 235, I call that the Federal Reserve number. Federal Reserve has that 235. Each leg of the Freemason compass kicked out 23.5 degrees. There's also that Enough is Enough card, if you've never seen this in the Illuminati card game. Enough is Enough. It looks a lot like Trump, too. There it is. I mean, doesn't that look like his face? Jimmy Kimmel got that recognition for saying enough is enough about Trump. Is Megyn Kelly a man in drag? I don't know. I heard I heard she was O.J. Simpson's wife. I've heard a lot of rumors. I don't know. There was a school shooting today? School shooting, October 26, 2018. Let's see. 10 killed, 10 wounded in Texas school shooting? Is this today? I was at the dentist office a lot of today. I didn't stay caught up. How did I not hear about this story? This happened in Austin, Texas, where the other bombing story happened. So we already know why they chose that city. So is this happening right now? I don't know how I haven't heard about this. Anyway, 10 killed, 10 wounded in Austin, right? I already see what they're doing here. Just get back to our base ciphers. If you write out 10, it has this gematria 42, just like Austin. This is how I predicted that there'd be 5 bombs in Austin. And there was. But, okay. Didn't know about this story. Do we have any more information? Is this another school shooting today? There's one in Fresno as well? I mean, I don't understand why we're not getting better headlines pulled up here. Normally, if you type in school shooting and for the date, I mean, you get all sorts of stuff. School shooting. Huh. I'll look more into it. Thank you, Star Rose. Let's see. Thank you for the compliments. Multiple shootings today. So yeah, that must be at the Austin and Fresno. It's amazing that there's not bigger headlines for these shootings. Yeah, there literally is like a school shooting in the news every week now. All right, you guys. You know what? Because of these school shootings, I'm just going to log off now. I got to do some decoding before I have to hop onto the Patreon and do Friday Night Sports Live. If you want to participate and learn how to decode sports games, you only have to be a $1 member on my Patreon, $1 a month, and you can participate every Friday night. And the $1 a month members are about to start. I'm about to start doing an hour-long newscast every single day on my Patreon. I said I'd do it once we get to 1,000 people signed up there. We're almost to 1,000. I just decided once we get to 950, since that rounds up to 1,000, I'll start doing it every single day. Hour newscast, Patreon. That $1 a month tier will get you the newscast and the Friday night decodes. If you want all of my sports picks, that's $5 a month. If you want to participate in Gematria School every Tuesday night, plus the chapters that I release for my new book, that's $11 a month. So. All right, you guys, I appreciate the heads up on the news stories. I had no idea about them. Antonio Blout, I see your comment. You bought the book. You can't figure out how to download it. You should have been sent an email from Etsy. Check your email box from Etsy. There should be a link to download. If you can't find it, email me at Gematria Effect News, just like my channel name, Gematria Effect News at gmail.com. Just in the title, put help with book. I'll send you it. You'll be able to download it straight through the email if Etsy didn't send it to you, but it should be there. So it looks like I'm missing a lot of good things in the chat. Marion Marcus points out De Niro, Bill de Blasio, Death of the Modern Family, Delaware Devil, DeSantis. Yeah, a lot of duh. JR Smooth says, hit the like button, join the Patreon. Appreciate it, JR Smooth. All right, you guys, I will be back probably not tonight, but definitely tomorrow. And I'll be back with some content on these school shootings if I can find more information. Looks like the stories are pretty slim. So, all right, have a good night all. Hit that like button. Trying to get the book sales up to, can we sell 15 copies today? That'd be nice. We need 4 more sales to get to 15. Who wants to help me hit the number 15 sales today? That would be great. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.